All right. Apparently, Brian is on his way here, so we're just waiting for Brian to show up. But we got plenty of show for this week. I have a cold. This is the first show upon my return from my Disney trip that was had well, I can't say unexpected. How should I put this? We got a visit from some bloke named Ian in the middle of our Disney vacation. So of course we got that to talk about. It's pumpkin spice season again, so we might have to revisit that topic. And I don't know what else Brian's going to come screaming in with, but Brian has assured me he is on his way. Oh, and also, some dude that looks like a water heater is taking a piss in my basement and has been going nonstop all day. So I yeah, I had to basically I got no hot water in the house at the moment. Well, I do. It's just that hot water in the house involves going in the basement, making sure there's room in the bucket, turning the hot water back on, using the hot water, going back in the basement, turning the hot water off, and emptying the bucket. But we'll talk more about that too. So that's a lot to look forward to here on tonight's stream as soon as Brian joins us. So I wasn't going to start late, but the show is going to start late because we can't really start the show without at least a co-host. Because if I talk to myself and then Brian comes in, he's not going to know what's going on. And speaking to people who don't know what's going on, here's Brian.
Yeah. So how was your vacation?
That is a question that will be addressed on this show.
Big time.
Yeah. So we should do it. We should.
My first tweet to you was, "How was Maine?"
Yeah, which
don't you wish?
Maine was the opposite direction.
Yes.
Of where Ian decided to intersect with my whereabouts. But we are here for another fun-filled edition of
Insert Title Here.
The show that changes names so frequently, we had to make a lame joke about it. And actually, it's not changed names all that frequently.
I was going to go. Let me think. What was the last time we changed it?
It used to change names so frequently, but it's been pretty. Well, then again, in the grand scheme of things, Damon has always done a show called No Holds Barred Radio. Sloan has always done a show called The Goddamn Show. And if he came back and started doing a show again, well, he also did Sloan's Dumpster Fire, but that was something completely different in VR. The point is, most NHB shows have run with the same name from their first episode to their last episode. Although maybe they just weren't doing shows long enough. I mean, heck, the Dune and Bob show stayed the Dune and Bob show for many, many years, despite there not being a Bob. It's only been recently that we finally changed the name of that show. So, yeah, really, we do change names a lot more frequently compared to our other shows on the network, which totally still exists. So, but anyways, so Brian, how was your vacation to Disney World?
I didn't go to Disney World. I went to
that's right.
Pittsburgh.
That was me.
Pittsburgh.
You went to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
What were you doing in Pittsburgh?
I have relatives there.
Now Pittsburgh, that's the place where they came up with the idea to put a toilet in the basement, right?
Is it?
I listened to a podcast about it and I completely forget the details, but you know how some houses have a toilet in their basement and it's like really weird and you kind of like, why is that? It's not in a room. There's no walls. It's just a toilet in the basement.
Oh, I think our friend Nick had a toilet in the basement.
He had a basement?
Well, it was a split level, and so one part was like a basement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, apparently when you have a toilet in the basement, that's called a Pittsburgh toilet. So that's why
I never heard that term.
I didn't hear it until I did. And although I could say that about anything. really.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no, there was a
yeah.
podcast about it recently, and they
Oh,
went into the history of it, and I think it has something to do with the plumbing. And speaking, oh, you know what? I did not plan this, but this is perfect because one of the topics we have to get to this week is I have a plumbing nightmare that is emerging in my basement.
what? How did we get there?
Well, we were talking about Pittsburgh toilets in the basement, and I think part
Yeah.
of the reason was it's part of the plumbing system, and it gives it like a release or what I don't know. I think it's beneficial to a plumbing system
That way,
to,
if
to
you don't
have.
keep it flushes and the trap kind of dries out,
I
you'll start getting vapors in your basement.
I guess so.
And you go down there with basically methane. So you
There,
go down there with a cigarette and you'll blow the house up.
well, just make sure to finish the job and collect the insurance check. Just
Yeah, but if you're going down there with a cigarette, you're probably not surviving that.
well, if you got a relative that you're not too fond of, you might send them to go smoke a cigarette
Hey,
in the
there
basement.
you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go across the street. You go light a match over there. No,
I'm
no,
going to have the camera running on the house.
we would never endorse murder / insurance fraud.
Exactly.
Now, those things separately maybe, but both together, I mean, that's 2 life terms, right there. Well, actually, is insurance fraud a life term? Probably not. So you're probably okay. Life term and a heavy fine. Although anyways. So yes, I do have a plumbing problem emerging in my basement. As Sparky's noticed the topic, drip, drip, drip. Better go see a doc for that, John. Yeah, I need to see a plumbing doctor is what I need to see.
So what seems to be the issue?
Well, here's the thing.
Is
the house,
the drains leaking or something?
No, I don't have any drains leaking.
Or stopped up?
No, the drains are fine.
So the basement is filling up with sludge?
Well, no. I have a bucket to help with that.
Oh.
And speaking of a bucket, we got Mars in the house.
Hey, Mars.
Yeah, bucket.
Bucket. Yeah.
Dear Liza, there was a hole in the bucket. Dear Liza, a hole.
Wow, I have not heard that line in a long time.
Oh, it's
Yes.
a children's song.
But
I know.
but remember,
Huh?
But remember, it's not there's a hole in my bucket, oh Henry, because that's wrong. Henry's telling Liza about the hole in the bucket. So I'm right and
Where's the
Megan
drum fill?
Lennius-
That's horrible.
Oh my god, what happened? We
The drum
lost more.
fill, I don't hear it.
You
The drum
glitched.
fill. We could play a drum fill. No, that was I was just saying that Megan Lennius said it wrong once and said that I was wrong, and actually, she was wrong. And
Yeah. I don't know what they put in the way of Pfizer shot, but headache, and I passed out for an hour and a half. What did they do to me? They drugged me with something.
I've had not a single negative reaction to all 4 of my shots. I don't know what's up with that.
I just feel old with the last ones. It's fine. I just feel like I'm like 900. I feel venison age, honestly. I feel like
what? No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I feel like I'm a venison. I'm like 9,000 years old or something. I'm sore. That's it. And the next day I'm fine.
So when did you have this shot?
A little earlier today.
Today. Okay.
On the
So
way back
tomorrow
from
you'll be
my
better.
on the way back from my sister.
Now, Brian, have you gotten your 4th shot yet?
I had my 5th shot.
5th?
Whatever
that's
it
right. You
was,
had to
I got.
restart. That's
Yeah, they said it has.
And so all my other ones were Moderna, and this one was the other one.
Pfizer.
Yeah.
Now, when I want, you know what the word is?
And I really had nothing on that.
You know what I apparently Walgreens is recommending you stick with what you got because
Yeah, that's where I went with Walgreens this time.
I've had Moderna, And then the local Walgreens only had Pfizer. So I booked an appointment with Walgreens, and I go there, and they say, "Oh, we're going to have to send you to the other Walgreens because you've had Moderna, and we only have Pfizer." And I said, "I thought it was supposed to be beneficial to mix and match." And she said,
and that's why we got the Pfizer, because other sources say it's okay to. In fact, it's preferable to mix and match.
Well, that's the thing. They say it's okay to mix and match. Some reports have said it's preferential. At least that's what I heard on the radio. But the person at Walgreens asked the pharmacist, and the pharmacist said, "No, we're recommending you can mix and match if you insist, but we recommend you stick with what you got." So I don't know
I would ask a doctor.
I don't. You know what? That's if you ask 10 doctors about that, you probably get 2 different opinions.
I just stuck with what I had.
Or yes,
I walked
or no,
down to
or
Walgreens.
yes, or no.
Actually, I know doctors. I should ask them about that.
Yeah.
All I know is there was a Walgreens on the way. We went in there for something, and I said, I should probably see if they have a shot for me. And I walked back there, and they go, "Oh, no one's here. Just come here and sit down."
Yeah.
And then I walked out. I mean, honestly, that was I didn't even make an appointment. I just walked in there. They jabbed me and said, "Sit here for 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I think my niece is shopping, so it's fine." And then we left.
They jabbed me and they said honor system, basic. Well, they didn't say honor system, but they said just wait 15 minutes before leaving the store. So I walked around the store for 15 minutes. But
in our case, if I had Moderna and had no reaction, they would have said just go. But since I hadn't had the Pfizer before, they suggested walking around for 15 minutes. There was no timer on me. It was all up to me.
See,
I could have just walked out the door. But I went around and looked at the crap at the Rite Aid.
There's a lot of minor, unimportant inconsistencies here, and that's the type of thing people love to latch on. Because I had the same thing, and they still made me stay 15 minutes. They would have let you leave. Me, they recommend it don't mix and match. They recommend it mix and match. There's a lot of, and these are things that probably will be more clearer long term when you could actually study more data. But
right.
Oh, good.
So here's the interesting part. So I walk in to check in. The person says, "Oh, do you also want a flu shot?" And I said, "No, thank you. We're going to do that later." The next person there, that was just checking in. I saw another person, and that person says, "Oh, do you want the flu shot too?" And I said, "No, thank you. I'm going to do that later." And that kept going.
I thought you said the flea shot. I'm like, what's going on, Brian?
Flu shot.
You got a flea problem there, Brian?
I told you, man, my brain.
You itching a bit there. You got the fleas. You got the.
I don't know. All I know is I've never I laid down. I got back. I sat there, put my crap down, laid on my couch, and an hour went by, and I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't know. They gave me something.
Now Sparky writes in that his net is down, so he's sitting in a McDonald's parking lot listening to the show right now.
I approve.
That's dedication that we admire, even though our sponsor is Taco Bell.
I don't get ads I don't get ads anymore from here.
Tell you what, I'm gonna say that this week our sponsor is McDonald's. I'm
that's right. We are gonna say McDonald's. That's what I had for dinner.
Since Sparky is, being treated well by the McDonald's Wi-Fi, McDonald's is literally bringing the show to our listeners, one listener at a time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
let me finish my story. So then the lady that actually gave me the shot, she gave me the shot and then said, "Oh, do you want the flu shot?" And I said, "No, thank you. We're going to get that later." And then she looked at the chart. "Oh, you're Pfizer. Pfizer would not be paying for it."
Oh.
Other people must have seen the chart.
Yeah. Boo Pfizer.
We won't be getting it from Rite Aid.
Yep. So anyways, I got my flu shot at the same time I got my, actually both times, both boosters, I got booster and flu at the same time. Because, who wants to make 2 trips to a Walgreens or a CVS?
I don't usually go for flu shots. I just got the Pfizer.
So we
someone wants to buy me a shot, I will take that shot. And that's got me in trouble
prefer
at
to
work
have them
functions.
separate in case I have a reaction. I know what the reaction was to. So the Pfizer shot, I had nothing. I mean, yes, a sore arm for a day, but I didn't have any feverish kind of bullshit. or anything else.
You know, I love a good mystery. I'm not going to make it easy for the doctors.
Sometimes
to
I
figure
have
out.
some sensitivity to flu shots, even though I've been getting them for many years.
Okay.
Hey, you know what the good thing about getting a flu shot?
Free shot?
You don't get the flu.
Well, that's not always true, actually.
Well, I have never had the flu from that. I had the flu when I was in college before there was a flu shot.
See,
wow.
I will say I had COVID, but not this time. I had a cold this weekend, and I'm recovering now. And you know what? If you asked me 2 days ago if I was going to be
because you were in a frickin' hurricane.
No, I think I got it from the Stereo Lab concert afterwards. But yeah, I was in a hurricane. But,
where was the Stereo Lab?
Is Gothard okay?
That was in Boston. I don't know.
Oh,
that was in Boston. Oh. Yeah, after we came back.
Because was that an outdoor concert?
It was an indoor venue.
Oh, so you had some idiot with a cold that was there.
Nice. Possibly. I don't know. I could have gotten it anywhere, really. But I probably got it after Disney World. And
I don't know why they have not developed a full-on Darth Vader costume to prevent you from getting diseases.
It's called a hazmat suit. You can't buy those. You can't buy those at Work World.
They have those for hospitals.
I'm sorry, you can't buy what?
They're called a hazmat suit. You can buy those at Work World.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, does it also have all the filters that are?
Charcoal filters in the mask. Yeah.
With positive fans, so. It's not just.
I don't know if it has a fan.
Sucking on a mask, and I think I'm.
So you're saying I could
suffocating?
You're saying I could buy fans for the show?
Suffocating. What? You think what?
I could buy fans for the show. So.
Well, we'll have to wait for a sponsor on that, right?
So Dune wants me to show a picture. I just need to download the picture so I don't show his first and last name. So let me do that, and then we'll open up that folder here.
Oh, you'll be telling us.
Yeah. No. Well, Dune can has cheesecake.
Yeah.
Oh.
I approve.
Milton Babbitt.
We could talk about Milton Babbitt.
I want to, not necessarily now. Let's see the picture.
Oh, all right.
Let's see the picture.
We are going to present
a
picture.
Looking at?
And here we go. This is in Dune's hotel room fridge right now. He has a cheesecake, and it's okay.
Are you still in the hotel?
Bigger screen. Let's see.
It's okay because he's gonna cut the calories with the beverage. He's only drinking the Diet Mountain Dew with that cheesecake.
That's disgusting.
That is. I wonder if they could make a Diet Mountain Dew cheesecake.
They make hard Mountain Dew. You could do that.
I mean, if you boil the Diet Mountain Dew to a syrup and work that into a cheesecake recipe, and then you wouldn't have to use the sugar as much because that'd be the sweetener, then it would be a sugar-free Diet Mountain Dew cheesecake.
Gators, they make a hard Mountain Dew, you know.
Then you can get the Cool Whip Cool Whip Light to scoop on top of it.
But that's horrible. Don't do that.
A McDonald's question.
Okay.
When did the Quarter Pounder include mountains of frickin' mayo?
Never, because
Well, I just ordered one yesterday, and lots of lettuce and tons of mayo. It's like
a
what
Quarter
the crap?
Pounder with mayo?
Exactly. It usually doesn't even come with lettuce, right?
Well, I think it usually comes with lettuce, but usually McDonald's uses a squirt of ketchup and a squirt of mustard as the condiments on all their burgers, except for the Big Mac, which has the special sauce, which is basically
the special magic
dressing.
Sauce.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's like
Burger King.
I wish
does
I asked
the
for
ketchup
a knife
mayo
so I
on
could
the
scrape it
Whopper.
Off, right?
Now, Burger King does the ketchup mayo on the Whopper, but if you order their cheeseburgers or their double cheeseburgers, they do the ketchup mustard. So if I ever order a Burger King double cheeseburger because I'm not feeling like a big sandwich, but a bunch of small sandwiches, I have to specifically ask them to leave off the mustard and add the mayo.
So I've been experimenting with their kiosks as they're rolling out in California. This time,
can I punch it?
The kiosk did not allow me to eat it inside. And I had to go to the counter to pick it up and then take the table.
It
was kind of bizarre.
Now, Dune is clarifying that a quarter pounder should not have lettuce. So your quarter pounder had lettuce and mayo on it, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure you weren't at a Wendy's?
No. This was definitely.
So the person didn't say,
I would show you the receipt if I hadn't thrown it away.
Because you might have gotten up there and the person might have been like, you'd be like, I'd like the quarter pounder. Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant. No?
Right.
Nothing like that?
Right. Nothing like that.
I'm
no,
thinking,
it was McDonald's.
Dude, you're at a Wendy's.
And Wendy's doesn't
totally
have a kiosk. Wendy's doesn't have a kiosk.
Okay.
I approve.
All right.
And so then I had to pick it up at the counter. Okay, that's no big deal. Oh,
right.
Yeah. The kiosk doesn't have an easy way to get packets of ketchup, so I had to ask for that.
Now, when I've used the kiosk,
and they didn't give me napkins in the bag, so I had to go get napkins that was next to
Brian, who did you piss off at the counter? Who did you get mad?
Nobody. I'm always very nice to these people.
A lot of times the kiosk has you take one of those like table numbers and you put the number in, so that way someone just
That's
brings
only
the
if
food
you click on to dine in.
Oh, you were doing the kiosk.
And that did not come up. It's like, what? What do you mean it's to go? I didn't select that.
You put tomato on my sandwich, I'll punch you in the face. Excuse me.
Now,
you could pick. I also had tomatoes on it. That's right. I forgot.
You know what?
Tomatoes normally don't come on a quarter pounder.
No, in fact, the only sandwich I can think of that has tomato at Amaka's would be one of them chicken sandwiches. But the Big Mac does have lettuce, 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
And tomato.
But no tomato. No tomato.
And tomato. and gobs of mayo. So actually, you can customize your burger at the kiosk. I should have done that and said, no, I don't want that shit.
Someone did that for you, apparently, because that's not the default. That is not the default.
Yeah. So
you
sure
so
they interpreted
your wife wasn't
everything.
Like, hey, look over there. Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. Mayo,
she wasn't
mayo,
there.
Mayo,
I was by myself.
He's like, you need vegetables. Click, click, click. Done.
Let's get about the lettuce on there.
And I don't really mind the lettuce.
Okay.
But I don't need a ton of mayo. Lettuce does not require more mayo than the lettuce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you,
my favorite thing when you're having to make the sandwich, like at a whether it's a Subway or what's that other sandwich shop that's still around?
Wow.
Simply
Got some
Blimpies.
chimes going.
No, we don't get that. Togo's.
Po' Boys?
Togo's.
Togo's.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know the last time I've been to a Po' Boys.
Do they have them in California?
I don't think they do.
They don't have many where I've been. I was intentionally trying to find
we don't have Blimpies. We don't have anyway, so and Quiznos is gone.
We used to have Blimpies, bro. But you know what we do have? We have Firehouse. We have Firehouse. Firehouse is freaking good.
You know,
subs.
I haven't been to one. And I'm like, where
Brian,
are they?
Brian,
actually, I think there's one in Santa Maria.
Brian, something you need to do within the next year. Go to a Firehouse, and you will never want to go to any of the others again. Trust me.
Sure, I think you're right.
I think Dune has figured out what the real story is here.
What?
Somewhere else on another show, someone's ranting about the plain normal quarter pounder they got at the same place at the same time. So I think Brian ordered standard quarter pounder. Dude at the next kiosk ordered quarter pounder with extra lettuce, extra tomato, a shit ton of mayo.
So
and they mixed up your sandwiches.
Here's another thing that's funny. So,
Jimmy John's. We have a Jimmy John's in San Francisco.
I think they have either 6 or 8 kiosk stations, and one is backed up to the other, so it's going to be an even number, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at least 2 of them I saw were apparently on vacation.
Well,
they were shut down.
They're on vacation.
Does a robot get a vacation?
Yeah, they should.
Is that a
robot rights?
Yeah, well,
Jimmy John's. I like Jimmy John's, but the one in our area got closed down for some reason.
Yeah, there's one.
And people are boycotting Jimmy John's because apparently they're hunters, and that's a bad thing.
Now Sparky points out that multitasking is not a requirement of working at McDonald's.
Okay, that works.
Now I wonder if McDonald's is going to keep us, is going to stick around as our sponsor after our lengthy stories about all the ways
they should.
the orders
That'd be fine.
wrong. But
but did you see a McDonald's ad?
Well, this is a McDonald's ad.
Everybody, get your hot apple fry. Get your hot apple pies
apple
and
fries.
fries.
This is the ad.
Yes, hot apple fries. You know what? Apple
pie.
fries wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, hot apple fries. That's what they should serve.
Yeah, there you go.
I would eat that. I would try it.
I would. Yeah.
So this is the ad that they did not pay for, and I can't say I blame them.
Well, no, but they are still paying in the form of free Wi-Fi for Sparky Toaster, who's listening.
Yes,
so
yes.
We thank you.
That's right. We thank you.
Now
and
Sparky
we don't
suddenly
mean to
gets
be
cut
bad
off.
And the other thing is, I went to this one McDonald's twice when I was down in Santa Maria over the week, right? And both times I got fries, and they were nice and hot, so they came out of the hopper, but they weren't these were very blonde. I kind of like to have a little browning to them.
Right.
I mean, who likes burnt fries? The burnt fries you flick across the room, right? Maybe
I like the crunchy ones. The crunchy ones are good. You stick
I'm talking about burnt black.
Burnt black.
Oh, that's fine too. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
So anyways,
it adds a little flavor.
So back to the plumbing.
Or Creole.
Or sometimes the burnt ones are good to scrape off that extra mayo.
So back to the plumbing.
Oh, do you have plumbing problems?
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Wait. Is this real plumbing or Gators plumbing?
This both.
I just wondered.
Does that require Pepto-Bismol or something?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Let's just say Dune already knows what happened because I've sent him video footage of.
Oh, poor Dune!
Video footage.
Dude, I hope you didn't open that video. I'm so sorry.
And then when I told Dune what I did, that got to that point, Dune was like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that."
Oh, you have ripping issues. Oh.
Let's see the video.
Well,
let's get the
video's on my phone,
experience.
So I don't know how to get the video from my phone to my computer because it's in the texting app portion of the phone. But
you just drop it.
Is it on the memory card? You can flop the memory card over.
What you could do? What do you? Is it texting?
I got to.
So what you can do? You can hold it down and see share, and you'll see a share button, and click share, and just find your app of choice, like email or there'll be one that says.
There we go. Share.
I use Dropbox.
All right, yeah, Cher. She did that song about the gypsies and the tramps and what else? I forget. No.
I was watching part of Burlesque last night with Cher as the owner of this this nightclub.
Oh,
it
how did that go?
Actually, not so bad. I hadn't seen it before.
Okay.
Oh. I watched Halloween 2 nights ago. That was what I watched.
Well, before we get to Milton Babbitt, we got to finish.
I know.
Let's
see. I'm filling in while you find the video.
All right.
Yes,
well,
Milton Babbitt.
I am sending the video to my OneDrive, and now I am looking in my OneDrive for the video, but I don't know if it actually sent it. I got a blurred nudie video. So we can probably watch that.
Why do you have a blurred nudie video? Is this from Disney World?
Because Dune found it on Twitch, and we wanted to share it with the world, but we couldn't do. So we made a blurred.
So was that Minnie Mouse?
No, that was basically someone was doing a Twitch stream, and his wife didn't know that the camera was live and walked into the room.
Oh, is that the one they got banned for 7 days for?
I don't think they got banned because they weren't that well known, but Dune happened to be watching at the time.
Is this going to be?
And he was recording it.
Is this going to be on Dune Gator show next Sunday for the Twitch finds?
That was we showed that.
Let's see if
show.
we can get banned.
Oh, did you do a show yesterday?
We did do a show yesterday.
Oh, I missed it.
Okay,
now watch the VOD.
Okay, I need to figure out where this file is. It's 2022-1010_. Okay, let's see. 2022 02 03. Here we go. 1010_. Oh, here it is.
Hot damn. This is the almost nudie one.
No, this is the drip.
The plumbing issue.
Well, it started with dripping. All right, so let me tell the story while I'm downloading this video. So every year,
Wait, are the
now you're
pipes dripping?
downloading it. Why are you downloading it? Isn't it there on your computer?
because it's
display?
only showing up in part of a window inside of a window when I look at it in the browser, and you're not gonna and you're,
It's
then
not
you're
gonna-
gonna be
it's not gonna
complaining
get-
that it's not big enough.
Yeah, Gators.
So
I have a question.
yes,
Gators. Is it the pipe dripping or are you dripping?
well, it's not it's
Get
it's
a
not
cork.
it's not me. It's
Oh,
Get a
good.
cork.
I'm glad to hear that. Actually, that is not.
So
fun.
your bidet blew up
no
in the basement toilet.
no it's
God.
well, now when I play it shows at a 90-degree angle because computers are so smart.
That's
everything
okay.
has to look sideways.
We can go like this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go like. Let's
Yeah.
see if VLC plays it properly. Oh, VLC plays it properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
VLC will play anything.
Yeah.
All right. So every year I think about calling someone out to do the proper annual servicing of my furnace that a responsible homeowner should do. And every year I look at the mess that is my basement and think of the amount of embarrassment it would cause me to bring in a professional to see what a pigsty I live with under my house. And every year I decide I'll just DIY a few things to feel good about it and punt this to next
Teflon
year.
tape and just go.
I mean, the thing was serviced before I bought the house. We saw to that. So I know that it was in good working order and serviced and clean when I bought the house.
3 years?
But I've had the house for, I think we're going on year 4 now.
4 years? Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, I only get mine looked at every 10 years.
The
so.
tag says it was looked at in 2018. So it's getting to the point where it's due. So I was like, maybe I should call someone in this year, and I'm like, nah, I'll just do. And what I know how to do is I know how to flush water through the heating loops that are in the house. There's a valve that I cut off, and you put on a hose, and you open up that spigot, and that makes it pull in water from the tap to fill and push the water out from the loop out the hose.
That's why you should get forced air, because then you don't have to do that.
And you do that until.
But you do have to get duct cleaning.
And
once in a
that
while.
way, because I noticed that I heard some gurgling in the pipes when I was running the heat, and the gurgling means that there's some air in the loops.
There's air in the pipes, yeah.
So I need to kind of bleed that to bleed out the air. So I grabbed a hose and a bucket and
Good with the
did
duck
thing.
show. The
And
duck show.
Well,
What?
I'm sorry. I saw that and I go, what the hell is
thing
that?
at a
Sorry.
time.
Just a second. Apparently I have a door.
Yes, clean your ducks.
So
Here, I'll leave this up.
so
Thanks, Sparky. I love it.
anyways, after
Yes.
I bled the
Just a
2
second.
loops, I
Let me put
noticed
the
that
pants
there
on.
was something
I
going on.
appreciate that.
We got to find out what this is all about. I don't know what you mean by the duck show link. What the hell is the duck show link?
Sorry, Han.
What are you even
There.
talking about?
These are good. Okay.
Dune's like shouting about this
What's up,
duck.
Hey.
What's the duck show?
Uh,
And what's going on at Mars's place? When did I lose control of this show, Brian?
Well, we're waiting for the video, and we're actually fill in some drama here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
See, that's
well, what-
our excuse for a crappy show.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what Dune is screaming about.
I don't know. I know. That's why I said, I was like, what?
Dune needs duck. I don't. There's no ducks in my basement.
Was he actually think of a different word than duck? Change one vowel?
The Dick show link?
And I don't know what that would be.
Deck show link? The
Deck.
dock?
Yeah, deck.
The
Yeah,
dock?
the deck show.
Maybe it's the fuck show link?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I don't. And now
Okay,
he's-
is that video almost ready?
well,
Or
the
we
video's
wait
ready,
ne-
but I need to tell the story, and it's very distracting with all the noise in the background. So I'm waiting for Mars,
Mars. Hey, Mars, come on back.
because we got to find out what that was all about. Maybe Mars is having
Is he
some
throwing
ducks.
a chair around the room or something?
No, I think the duck delivery has come to Mars's place. And they put in a little pond in the back, and now they're delivering the ducks for the duck pond, and that's what's happening right there.
They put a pond behind his house?
Yeah, there's totally room for that. No, they put that in on the first floor below him. Oh, Dune wants the StreamYard link to join the show is what he wants. I see. I well in that case I could send you that. I didn't realize. To join the show. Okay, I got you. All right, so Dune wants to get in on this.
Oh, and I was starting to think, does Dune want to duck?
No, because we are using StreamYard, which has a duck for its logo. So he wants a show invite link is what he wants, but he's called it a duck link, or the dang duck show link. And I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even think about that. The duck.
Neither did I. That totally went over my head. I find that funny. Yeah, the duck show. We are the duck show.
We are the duck show. We are
Actually,
all.
I need to move over so both hands show up.
Everyone that uses StreamYard is the duck show. I'm the duck show. You're the duck show. He's the duck show.
Quack, quack.
We are
quack,
all
quack.
ducks. You know? But anyways, Mars muted, so I guess he had to go tend to his duck pond. So after I flushed the heating loops, I noticed
the toilet. Oh, I'm sorry.
So and speaking of heating loops, we've got Dune in the house.
Dune. I know. We are stupid. Yes.
How much longer do you think it's going to take for me to get to this video, Dune? Because you've seen the video, and it's some hot footage.
I've already ate half, so just continue.
Is that a duck sandwich?
That's a duck l'orange cheesecake, is what.
That's the cheesecake. That's right. I forgot about that. Is that Mountain Dew gone? Diet Mountain.
No, it's still in there. No, I still have it.
Now Dune had bought two.
Washing it down.
No, Dune bought 2 slices of cheesecake yesterday, and yesterday he had the
sliced Dew. Right,
that's the standard. And yesterday you had the Adams peanut butter fudge, whatever, which at my recommendation. And what's the Dune assessment on that?
Oh, it was really good. It was like you said. It was just like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, they got that like light brown portion where it's like cheesecake flavored with the peanut butter, and they got the fudge swirls in there. It is just to die for. I'm planning my next visit now. Anyways, so I flush out the 2 heating loops to feel like I've accomplished something along the lines of maintenance to punt to next year again. When supposedly by then my basement will be all clean and I won't feel embarrassed inviting someone into my basement. And then I noticed that there's water trickling out of this little spout off the side right onto a plastic bin of my wife's stuff that's being stored in the basement. Which, mind you, the basement is 90% Gator storage, 10% the wife's storage. So, of course, the water picks my wife's storage. But they're plastic bins. Nothing got damaged. The point is that these bins...
it didn't go into the bin. It just
it's
trickled over it.
It's dripping onto the bins. But the main problem is that the bins are right where I need to put a bucket. And the bins have, like, 10 Gators boxes on top of them, and there's no room to wedge a bucket into here because basically I'm like, this is dripping, this is not bad, I just need a bucket and we can deal with that later.
You have to pull out that bin with the stock of boxes.
But meanwhile everything's getting wet, so I wedged a bucket in there. I finished flushing the heating loops. I closed everything off, and then Dune got some Tex-Mex because that's the answer to all of life's problems. Is some hot dang Tex-Mex, and I tell you, if I just
dang, what's the outfit?
Because all you gotta do is take you take
a
scoop.
Taco Bueno. Oh shoot, I haven't been one of those in a million years.
You just take a scoop of the refried beans and you shove
better than Taco Bell, right?
You shove that into the end of the pipe that's leaking, and that'll harden like concrete.
That would totally work.
Jeremy. That would totally. Now Dune told me don't cork it. Don't cork it.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what my family tells me in the car. Right? But I'm sorry. Yeah. What was that, Brian?
I mean, you don't want to cork it because what if you have to get at it?
Right.
Then you've made it
Well, it's a safety valve.
Well, right. It's
that's even worse.
It's
Plug
a
up
pressure.
a safety valve.
It's a
Watch
pressure
the whole
release
system
valve.
blow up. Yeah.
In theory, it means that if water's dripping out of here, in theory, it means that there's too much pressure. But in this case, it means the pressure release valve is gunked up, or worn out.
Potentially.
Well,
maybe because you're flushing it, you were putting in more pressure than it can take.
That's
really
what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought by letting water out and letting more water in, it was put. But the thing is that this is a pressure release valve where the tap water comes in to be heated and go to the sinks, whereas I'm adding water into the heating loops, which is a separate circuit from this. So that's not even where I was putting the water in. But I guess I stirred up enough shit to basically push something through that valve, and once it opened up, it just let a trickling drip through. So I wedged a bucket in there. I finished up flushing out the circuits. I put things away. I cleared the boxes out of there and got the bucket on the floor, got things away from there, and it just kept dripping. But it was dripping really slowly, enough so that like I could probably just empty a bucket once a day and be fine.
Did you get it emptied today?
I did empty it today, and
okay.
I was hoping that it would stop eventually, because my thought was, like Dune pointed out, it's just a pressure release valve. I thought, well, I put too much pressure in, it'll balance itself out, it'll stop. After dinner, it's still dripping, and that's when I'm like, okay, we got a problem. So what did I do? I decided to go down and fiddle with it a bit. So I pushed the release valve to let more water through, thinking I'd let out the excess pressure.
What could go wrong?
Well, Dune, you know what goes. Dune, you told me exactly why I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, those things are just a disaster.
Basically, the seal's already breaking on this thing, so by opening it and closing it and pushing water through, I basically just worked out more of the seal that was holding back the water, and so at this point. At this point, this is what my basement looks like if I have the hot water on. That bucket's going to fill up quicker than a day. That's going to fill up in like a half hour, I think. So that's what's currently going on in my basement. Got enough of that, Brian?
Yeah, got it.
That's now the thing is, the pipe is threaded and the release valve is threaded. So in theory, I should just need to screw that off and screw a new one on and be good.
Yeah.
So that's one theory.
In
theory, I should just have to screw the one off, screw a new one on, and be good for that. Although I really should have an annual cleaning done, since it's been like 4 years since I've had an annual cleaning. So this might be a good opportunity to call someone into, hey, could you make this stop doing that and service it? And
and you could give them a free air conditioner.
Yeah, I could. Like, hey, just
because you still have that, right?
Your pipes.
Just take a. Do you accept air conditioners as payment? You just take that on your way out. Just just grab that on your way out.
Yeah.
You can borrow my dolly. But Sparky putting out more than a drip. Yeah, it started as a drip, and then when I tried to release the pressure, it turned into a trickle. Sparky says that's diarrhea. Is what that is. So, anyways, there is a cutoff valve above that cuts off the water from going into the furnace. So my furnace is not dripping, but I also don't have any hot water coming out the tap. And that shutoff is past the point where water goes to the heating loops. So I could still heat the house if it gets cold overnight. And I just don't have a hot bidet if I need to take a shit in the middle of the night.
Ooh.
So speaking of bidets, I was visiting these relatives in Pittsburgh and used their bathroom, not in the basement, but on the first floor.
Okay.
They do have a basement. I didn't go down there. I suspected there was something I didn't want to see, like a toilet.
Clown suit.
Possibly. Anyway, so I went in the bathroom and like, oh, They have a bidet. So I asked him about it, and it was deluxe. There were all these different knobs and stuff.
Some of them get pretty fancy. Yeah.
It does hot water, cold water. I guess it's adjustable. Who the hell knows? You could probably have one hell of a
Some of them
fountain
require
going on.
power. Ours
So
don't.
anyway, I talked to him, and I said, yeah, I really like it. And his wife won't use it.
Hey, I didn't know you were staying at Dune's place.
Oh, is that what happens there?
My wife won't use it either.
They don't know what they're missing.
It's more ass water for me.
And I told him, I said, when we were in, I think we were traveling in West Germany at the time, and one of the hotels we stayed at had a full-on second bidet, which just looks like a water fountain.
You waddle over.
Kind of turn it on there, you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, that doesn't look appealing to me.
And it's probably all cold water. It's like, how's that going to be nice?
No, they got much better options now. But now
you can get a little a travel one that looks like an electric toothbrush.
Now, have they turned you into a convert? Do you have yours on order now?
Not yet.
Not yet. The key word there. So now what? That is some art.
So I need to know.
What is it?
Is this?
It's the time tunnel.
Is this like a tunnel from that one show, or is this half of an owl's eye? And if it is, where's the other half?
No, you know what this is.
What?
Dude, did you not get that for Christmas?
It's like the right eye. Yeah, the right eye.
It kind of looks like it, because if you look right there, see how it's got like a little crease?
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like an owl's eye. So it makes me wonder if in another room somewhere, the inverse to this is there.
Yeah, that could be. That might be what's going. I don't know. That's a good question. I was thinking that was like, remember for Christmas you'd get like one of those like things that had little squirtable paints and the rotating platter. You put the card in, and it would spin the card. You drop the paint on it, and you get the splatter patterns.
See if anybody's outside.
Nope.
I never had one of those. I don't remember. It wasn't in the catalog. Of course, maybe that's a newer one for millennials.
Yeah. Now Sparky also going.
Now, check this out. I do got a kitchen though.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Nice
kitchen.
Oh, when we were in Pittsburgh, we
stayed full-size refrigerator
at this Hilton. Okay, the Hilton had no refrigerator at all. It's like, what the fuck?
And an orange shirt.
Yep.
Should I complain to Paris Hilton that the Hilton it was actually in Monroeville?
I think they delegate that out to the local managers, so you might need to call the front desk.
I know. Well, we did fill out a comment form.
Well, there.
And also the room were a little bit dingy. It's kind of due for a renovation. Sorry, Hilton. You're supposed to be the tops.
Anyways,
we'll stick with Marriott.
So Brian, what do you think of my plumbing problem? You think I could do that myself, or you think I should call an expert?
Yeah. Go to Home Depot and see if you can find a relief valve to replace it.
Yeah. Although I'm still getting over a cold, so I was trying to not go out in public until
Is it stopped good enough?
Well, you know what? I still have a cough every now and then, and
no. I'm talking about the drip. Is it slow enough where?
No. I've had to turn the hot water off. I wouldn't be able to get through the night with that dripping. It's a steady trickle now.
Bandwidth is really crappy. I'm going to listen to you guys on there.
Okay.
Thank you for enjoying my
cheesecake with me. Thanks. It's great to hear your voice.
Oh, take care.
I suggested a great show idea to Dune the other day.
Oh, well, let's finish up here.
Okay.
So why don't you? So there's no water pressure in there at all. So you could actually remove the thing.
Yeah, there's a shut-off valve that I'm using, which shuts off water to that problem, but also shuts off water to my sinks. So
right. So I would take the thing off. See if you can kind of clean it out. Maybe with
that's a lost cause.
You think it is?
Being that
you don't think it's just gummed up?
Well, being that using it made it worse, I think it's worn out, and I have worn away more of what was holding previously.
So, like, the rubber seals are shot.
Yeah, I think the rubber shot, and by moving it, I made it worse. I can only make it worse. I can't make it better unless I cork it, which is a safety issue. So, yeah.
So cork it gently so that if the pressure gets too much, the cork just pops out. Of course, you'll get water all over the place, but
nah, I don't. I'd rather just replace it properly.
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah. So,
anyways,
yeah, so
I don't know.
I mean,
We'll
obviously replace it. Yeah.
So
now, does your heating system work with that shut off?
Yes, because the shutoff was past. The shutoff is past the point where water feeds the heating loops, and plus the heating loops actually don't need to be fed. They're
so before you take a shower, you run downstairs, you turn the valve back on again, so you get hot water.
Right.
Then you run and take a shower, and then you run back down to
shut it off, empty the bucket. Yeah.
That's convenient.
That's my routine for now. So, and that just happened today. So tomorrow I got to start coming up with a plan. But tomorrow we have a new guy starting at work that I got to start training. So I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow.
Are you going to be going into the office with that cold?
I'm working from home tomorrow. I was supposed to go into the office, but I told my boss I got a cold, I got symptoms, I'm not coming in, and he said makes sense. So I got to remotely train the new guy now, which is going to be an interesting challenge.
You could just say, well, I would have loved to be there in person, but I don't want you to get my cold.
Exactly.
And he'll probably say, thank you, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, which, by the way, if you need Fisherman Friends cough drops, you can get them Amazon Prime, and you can pay extra for next day delivery. So,
what cough drops?
Fisherman's Friend.
I never heard of that.
They are very strong. They are like pure menthol in a suckable form. So
what color are they?
Brown.
Brown. Wow.
They are brown. Yeah. I will show you one.
Cool. Yeah. That looks like something you shouldn't be eating.
Yes, and I totally am.
Yes. My sister-in-law likes Ricola. And she gave one to me to try, and I go, okay dokie. Now, I'm not into that. I'm into the Halls. And I did switch to cherry. I resisted cherry because I thought it wasn't as effective. But I find that it is.
These only come in one flavor. Menthol.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no flavoring in them. It's just all... Now, I don't know what the white powder is on there because it's not sweet, so it's not sugar. It's not sugary.
Root beer barrels?
Root beer barrels.
I don't know what that is.
It's a hard candy in the shape of a barrel. It's root beer flavored.
Okay. See, now there's another brand I never heard of.
Well, that's not a cough drop. That's just a classic hard candy. But sucking on a hard candy is good for a cough as well because it generates saliva and but I like to get the vapors going that clears the head out, and that's what Fisherman's Friend is good for.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I have we've said this before. I have chronic sinus issues. So I will sleep, take a hand towel and fold it in half lengthwise, and then you just wrap it around the head, and the two ends of the hand towel cross a little bit, and you twist it. So, okay, I'm sleeping on that side, so I twist it that way. If I go to the other side, I twist it the other way. Of course, often when I get up, it's off my head, but it does help you get to sleep. And once it's your sleep, who cares?
Exactly. That's all that matters. It's like,
high octane candy. Yes, sir.
There you go. Now, you wanted to talk about Milton
almost
Babbitt.
As good as Mountain Dew, right?
Now, you wanted to talk about Milton Babbitt, as I understand it.
Yes, you had that image.
Image
that was in Twitter.
Oh,
yeah. It was a hand drawing from a student.
Oh,
from this course that Milton taught '94, I think it was.
Now,
And there's other instructors that were in this artwork.
Oh, I didn't see the reply. You didn't notify me about the reply. Oh, I see. You found out a cousin had worked with Milton Babbitt in an advanced composition class in '94, and she's a cellist. And
so the center of the picture is Milton Babbitt.
Yeah.
This is kind of a caricature line art.
Well,
and then the bottom left is her holding 3 bows. And when she posted that on Facebook, she just laughed. 3 bows. She's famous for invented a method of using 2 bows.
Oh, I see.
So 3 bows is funny. And actually, yeah. So zoom in.
That in the frame right there. That is Milton. That is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Do you think it really looks like him?
Oh yeah.
Now, have you met him in in person?
No, I've only spoken to him on the phone.
Okay.
I've never met him in person.
Yeah. Obviously, she has. She was in this class with him.
Yeah, but yeah, he's
got
that squarish face with the glasses and the professor hair. Yeah. Yeah. Very, I've seen many interviews of him. He's comes across very knowledgeable, presentable, friendly. I mean, he was very appreciative of my call and said, thank you. You're so kind for liking my music. And, so that's...
And I think you would like my cousin's music.
Oh, probably.
She has a few albums on Amazon. You know what the last name is, right?
Well, she's got the same last name as yours?
Yep.
And what's your first name?
Frances Marie.
And that's with an E. Okay. Frances Marie. Oh, man. We can't tell people how to download this because we'd have to tell them your last name.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, why don't you try some clips and see if you like it?
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's unusual. In fact, my mother talked to her. She's always admired her niece. And she was coming probably to New Haven or something like that. And my mom said, "Oh, I'd like to come and see the show." And says, and she said, and Frances said, "No, I don't think you would like it." I think she went anyway. My mom liked a lot of different things.
Oh, I see. There's a CD called Works for Cello. Although it looks like it's more of her as a performer performing John Cage compositions. So this is good in my book. But let's see. The New York School. Let's see. But once again, she's on here as a performer. I'm finding CDs that she performs on but hasn't composed on. Is there a particular piece I should be looking for?
I don't know her work that well, which sorry about that.
Yeah, because she's more. Oh, here's one that's called Two Bows. It's last name Two Bows, and I don't know if it's actually by her, but the CD cost $70 used.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh shit, that's why I didn't buy it. Yeah. Now, are you Amazon Music?
So I'm just looking on Amazon for samples. Let's see what Spotify's got. So we gotta look for Frances Marie, your last name, and see what we can find here. And now, your task listening is based on these hints and these things I'm saying is to come up with Brian's last name. So that is your task. So here she is listed as an artist under Spotify, but once again, I don't know if she's just a performer or composer on these pieces. But it looks like she does perform a lot.
Sparky's free Wi-Fi will shut down after an hour.
Oh,
and had to connect again. Reconnect again.
Now Sparky also realized he left his headlights on for 50 minutes, but he also has a jump start battery.
Damn.
So this, I don't know if this is her work or her performing someone else's work, because it's not clear.
And this is probably just kind of like the intro part. That sounds like a single bow, right?
Yeah. Well, this piece got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
this is called Yeager 1 Old Age. But I think she's just most of the things that she's listed on as performer. So I'm not even sure how to find something that she has specifically composed.
Yeah, doesn't it give credit to who wrote it?
Right. Well, there's 2 credits under this. Giacinto Scelzi and Frances Marie, Your Last Name.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that being that there's only a cello on here, although I hear 2 notes, is that her double bow method? Or is it a duet?
What is the other person playing? Do we know?
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing, is that Spotify just gives basic credits, which works for most popular music, but doesn't exactly...
Right.
Classical is a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, like who are the performers, right?
That's why I was looking on Amazon to see if I can find
right,
something specific. But like I said, a lot of things for her name come up as a performer. She has done more as a performer than a composer in the world of commercial.
Of course, you can also look her up on
available
Wikipedia.
recordings. Yeah, I could. Okay, let's look her up on. You wait until now to talk about your famous composer relative?
Well, we were talking about Milton Babbitt, and that was the step into that direction.
And now, has she composed anything? Maybe she could compose a cello French horn duet for you to join in.
That's it. That's
an idea right there.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's see. Born in Chicago, Illinois to Finnish-American parents, she graduated from Berkeley High School in 1964, where she played cello in the school orchestra. She's got a Wikipedia entry with her complete history here.
Right.
And
my other cousin says that the age is not correct.
Oh.
Her age.
Now, what does she say?
Well, she hasn't. We didn't want to start a fight.
Well,
I think the other cousin was just mentioning it because, she's younger than I thought she was.
Well, it says she was born in 1946. It doesn't give a number.
The suggestion is that it's earlier than that.
Oh, well, maybe it was.
But I don't know. I don't know.
That's a question. So this doesn't list compositions or recordings, but it lists films on DVD and publications. Oh. So you're gonna have to find out more.
There isn't At some point, I'm just gonna have to go and buy some of her stuff. But sometimes you're like, okay, I don't have any.
Well, you know what?
I'm just going to say I don't have any Steely Dan. That's not correct.
Right.
And I want to get a good selection of it, but I don't even know where to start.
Well, she has a website, and her website is yourlastname.org. So she's claimed the org domain for your whole family. So there you go.
Right, but she hasn't shared it with us. My brother has the myname.net. And I have an email account on it, and anybody with my last name can get on it and have an email account.
Improvisations FM with Jonathan Harvey synthesizer. Now that sounds interesting. Oh, Broken Link. She has links to MP3s that are not being hosted anymore. Let's see.
Well, sucky.
Yeah, her website is kind of
a bit stale.
Yeah, well, it also any website that says website under construction on their front page. I was taught in web design to not do that. Your website is what it is.
Oh yeah.
If you do that, it's just gonna be for that used to be a trend. Remember in the 90s when websites would have construction barriers, like pardon our appearance, we're under design. A website's always under design. A website's always under work. You don't.
Well, I mean, I think it really suggests that there's an initial design being done,
right?
And it's not really ready for public use.
Well, we'll put up what's ready for public, and then work on the other thing.
Exactly. Finish the damn job.
Yeah,
right.
But But anyways, this isn't one of those big flashy construction packages. It's just a little small text website under construction, which is a little, that's more notification like, hey, there's more to come. But I also don't know when this website was last updated. But it has a Washington Post quote, and it's got a very basic menu on the bottom. FMC here, contact. And FM has... well, I guess that's about her, because Frances Marie FM. Does she go by FM? I guess that's a nickname.
I never heard that before. Well,
okay.
that's her initials.
Yeah,
but I don't think anybody calls her that.
Let's see.
Within the family, we really just call her Frances or Franny or Fran.
Okay. Well, Frances Marie, composer-performer, pioneered a revolutionary dimension to the cello by transforming it for the first time into a polyphonic instrument capable of sustained chordal 2, 3, and 4 part and intricate multi-voiced writing. Using 2 bows in one hand, this invention permits contemporaneous cross accents, multiple timbres, contrasting 4-voice dynamics, simultaneous legato versus articulated playing. Giorgi Kurtag, Luigi Nono, Giacinto Scelzi, Jonathan Harvey, Richard Barrett, Horatio Radulescu, Lisa Bell-Lawal, and many other names that I could butcher, are among many who have used this technique in their works dedicated to her. More.
Oh.
So, and I did notice that when I Googled Amazon, one of the first things that came up was a work that was dedicated to her, that someone else wrote. So yeah, people have dedicated works to her.
Yeah.
Method. Now,
maybe they maybe they came to the symposium that was talked about.
Now she does have links to Vimeo videos that have video of her performing, I guess. Okay. Yeah, this is her performing, or. And this is with someone on a computer making synthesized sounds all around her as well on speakers.
Are you ready to convert to Atmos yet?
I already have. Now that's a lot more speakers than Atmos.
In fact, do you know if that's surround?
Well, the speakers are surrounding her. Have you seen this video?
No.
You should check it out. I'd bring it up. I'm afraid her name is going to flash on the screen when I do. And are you okay with people knowing your last name? We've never talked about that.
I'm
putting you on the spot, so we can talk about that more later.
No, that's all right. That's right. Actually, we were going to talk more about Milton. Milton Berle. Milton Berle, yeah.
Milton Berle. All right. Well, the thing is, you brought up Milton Babbitt, that she was in the class of Milton Babbitt.
Is that music?
How do you define music, Sparky?
Exactly. Actually, you've got some Milton Berle music
Milton Babbitt.
I know Babbitt. I was just joking.
Milton Berle. Yeah. No.
When you make a mistake, you do it twice, and it's okay. Like jazz, right?
Milton Babbitt is a very very famous composer in the world of music for his serialist compositions, and serial music is music that intentionally doesn't establish a key or a tonal center.
And Sparky, I don't think that means Cheerios.
No, not Cheerios. But if I were to pull up now, Milton Babbitt composed way more acoustic instrumental music than he did synthesized music, but his synthesized compositions, being pioneering in the world of synthesis, have been something he's known for. But he composed very few electronic compositions, only a few on the RCA Mark II synthesizer, which is a very archaic machine. Very interesting machine, though.
I forget, you had that picture, you standing in front of a large...
Right.
Was that one of those?
That is the one and only. RCA
See,
Mark
that
II
was
synthesizer.
the Milton
Babbitt. Yeah. Now,
I can't get the word name right now.
If you show Franny my profile picture on Facebook, she'll probably be able to tell you what that is and where it is.
Yeah.
So, how often do you talk to her?
I really only communicate with her on Facebook.
Oh, well, you should.
So like she had posted that picture, and I says, yeah, a friend of mine's into Milton Babbitt.
Well, you got to send the profile picture now and ask if
I
you
know
know what I'm standing. If she knows what I'm standing
right,
in front of.
You're right. I'll have to dig that out and post that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that was the synthesizer that made the sounds on like for example, one of his famous pieces is a Philomel, which was composed for a soprano vocalist to accompany the. Now, mind you, the synthesizer was used to produce a tape, so the playback would be a tape that would be sung along to. Now,
and so Sparky, this would also be considered music in some circles.
Well, once again, I mean, music, like I said, how do you define a term as broad as music? What makes a difference between what is and what isn't music?
Exactly. No, now, I'm with you on that. I mean, some people will hate, let's say, rap music.
Right.
Okay, that's fine, but it's still music.
Right. Let's at least be open-minded enough to just say that's a type of music I dislike. But
yeah, and typically that's what it comes down to.
But not.
Or then they kind of go, even who the hell was it? Oh, I can't remember.
But the thing about Milton Babbitt's synthesized compositions were that he was able to compose way more complex rhythms and figures that a human would not be capable of playing because the machine will play it.
Yeah.
And also the machine, it's harder to get a machine to put emotion interpretation on something too. So you get a more cold sound, and especially this synthesizer, as archaic as this, it sounds very dated. But it was a very sophisticated machine for its time. And this is one of the few pieces that utilized the function it had, that you could feed recorded sounds into it and use those recorded sounds as part of its programmed output. Like these voices. I mean, that's early sampling right there. That is primitive sampling is what that is.
Sure. I thought it was just recorded on a tape or something and then mixed in or something.
No, that's on the tape that was recorded from the output of the synthesizer. The synthesizer is programmed. I mean, if you look at that picture, what I'm standing in front of, you'll see there are two rollers that take like player piano punched rolls. So you got to punch the instructions onto a paper roll and feed the two of them, because it's a 4-voice machine. Each roll controls 2 voices, I believe, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
And you get them both in synchronized, and then you get 4 voices, and it has the instructions for timbre, pitch, loudness, and things like that.
But now, then the voices themselves are sampled, right?
Right, because it allowed you to record in the sound and use that sound. Now, that I don't know the details of. I just know he did it. And I think Milton Babbitt was probably the only person that could tell you the technicality, and he probably long forgot that before he passed. But I don't think
he's dead?
Milton's dead, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Yeah. There were more questions I wish I could have asked him that came up after he passed, but then again, I was just some young annoying dude on the phone asking a bunch of random silly questions about a machine he hadn't touched in years. But he took my calls, and he was very polite. And
2011 he died. Okay.
Yeah, he died. I think around 2008, 2009, maybe 2010. around there. I gave him a call a few times.
Oh. So thankfully before he died.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be weird if I talked to him after he died.
Yeah, right. You just channeled him.
Hello. We had a seance. I broke out the Ouija board.
Yes. Yeah, but you heard his voice, though, right?
Right. It was on the phone. Yeah, I had one of those like afterlife phones that you can. Anyways.
Yeah.
It was a time machine phone. I was calling him in the past, like they have in South Park. But
I haven't seen that episode or those episodes.
Well, yeah, there was an episode where one of them somehow ended up in the future, and there was this like toy that existed to prank people in the past, but it had the disclaimer warning: do not use this to change the past. And so, of course, Cartman's trying to call Kenny and Kyle to rescue him from the future on this phone. And every time he calls someone and starts saying things, like everything changes around him because he keeps changing history with his calls. It was a little silly. It was typical South Park fashion.
Dune, raise your hand if you're still.
I think he had to go like tend to things, but anyways.
And he didn't even say. Do you know where he is?
I don't know. So you wanted to talk more about Milton Babbitt than your cousin. So what was it?
No, it was just something to talk about. That's all.
Right. Well, I mean, your cousin seems to be the more interesting topic here. But there's more you want to talk about Milton Babbitt too. I'm happy to.
Should we try to get her on this show?
I don't know if I'm professional enough to conduct a serious interview and not be insulting, in my lack of expertise, or I don't know. It's an intimidating thought doing a serious interview.
Well,
and plus I should
say then it's a joke interview.
Well, I should. I don't know. I should study up more on the topic. I should check out some of these recordings, and I mean, I got videos to watch. I wouldn't mind having her on the show at some point. I just want to make sure I'm prepared for that, because I'd hate to waste her time. Although we have successfully had relatives on your show, but I also noticed that after a few visits, the last relative of yours suddenly never showed up again. And I don't know if that's
actually my younger brother, he only showed up on that's right, it was 2 shows, and he got cut off by his wife, right?
Right, and he's never been back since.
Yeah.
And
right.
and I don't know if that's a permission issue, or if it wasn't really that much fun anyways. But maybe we could work. So anyways, you know what, we should, if you're okay with promoting your cousin's website, are you okay with that, Brian, or should we talk about that?
Let me put it this way. I don't think we need to do that. Hey, Sparky.
Okay.
Would you care if we shared a website, or do you just not care about this at all?
Well,
and either way is fine. I mean, I can go either way.
We've been talking about this cousin that composes music, and her website, and her music, and her videos, and what she does, and we're talking about having her on the show to interview her. And yet
said
we're like,
go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, the website is right there. And there I think there are 3 ways to pronounce that. And
at least.
Right. Well, I think you explained to me that there's witty, there's witty, and there's weedy.
Well, actually, Yudi is the second one.
Yudi.
And she would go by Yudi, I think.
Yudi. Oh, she goes by Yudi. Now, are you? Yeah. You go more by witty, though. You get a little bit of a W in the middle.
Yeah, we go with witty. Yeah.
And there's some in your family that go by weedy.
Yeah, singular of the cereal, as they call it. And of course, none of those 3 are proper Finnish.
So what would the proper Finnish pronunciation be?
Okay, number 1, the proper Finnish, you pronounce every letter, unlike stupid English, right?
Yuit T?
And the syllable that's enunciated is the first syllable.
It T.
Oiti.
Uit T. Uit T. I see.
Oiti. Yes.
Uit.
Which is hardly Americanized at all. Well, I mean, that's why we have the the other pronunciation is American.
Witty, Weedy, and Yudi.
Yeah.
Which are all not funny.
Actually, it's interesting. I have met Asian people, and they'll just say "uiti." Your typical American will look at it and kind of go, "I have no idea how to say that."
Yeah, that was my reaction the first day of work.
Yeah,
I was like, "Okay, that's a series of letters."
Buy me a consonant.
Yeah. Could you put a consonant in front of that, maybe? I mean,
Right.
buddy makes more sense, or cuddy, or cutie,
Right.
or duty. I don't know.
It's actually funny when you get junk mail. You have all these different options
Right.
of what letters there are. It's pretty amusing.
Yeah.
They're all mixed around. Typically, the most common is probably, instead of a U, it's a V. So it's Viddy.
Viddy.
Okay.
Well, it's like I remember, what was it? There was a guy that worked for a company that intentionally spelled his last name wrong so that people would pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Well,
my favorite thing is I'll say the name for the person, and they'll kind of look at me like, "Oh," and I'll go, "Oh, well, I don't look at it when I say it."
That's the trick.
Yes, and that's why I go on. That's why I go on with blues on a show like this.
Now, do you
Buying
remember
blues? There's no way to. Is there a way to say that wrong? Although sometimes you go to a place and you tell your name, like a Starbucks, they write your name on the cup, right, or on the order sheet. Like, how did you get Ryan? Ryan. How did you get that? I clearly said Brian.
Right. Well,
am I? Is your hearing a problem, or
my favorite is the guy that told Starbucks his name was Mark with a C, and he got back the cup and it was spelled C-A-R-K.
Oh, do I know that person?
Kark. I don't know. That was just something on the internet, but
oh, that's funny.
And I hope it's true. But anyways,
what gripes me? The rules at Starbucks say take the person's name and write it on the cup.
Right.
And how many times you go to a Starbucks, they don't do that. So you pick up your order by, what did you order? Well, I fucking forgot what I ordered.
Now, speaking of Starbucks orders, it is that time of the year again when everything's coming pumpkin spiced. And Dune, no, not Dune. Brian shared some things on Twitter recently.
Oh yeah, anytime I see a pumpkin spice thing, I post it.
So you saw, now did you see these in person? Dunkin'.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Spice grams.
Yeah, I was surprised. That's a real item.
When I first saw this, I thought, oh, Brian just found some pumpkin flavored coffee, because that looks like a bag of coffee beans. But no, it's goldfish. And
yes.
And I actually Googled to verify this. And yes, you absolutely can buy these from Amazon. And now the question is, should I go ahead and pull the trigger and make some of these show up at my house? Because they're right there.
I don't know. I don't know. See, I have actually no interest in trying any of them.
You don't want to try these? I mean, they look pretty tasty. They're, probably kind of they're graham cracker type of thing with the pumpkin spice flavor. Make a good snack. Kind of a sweet snack. Oh, it's
graham cracker flavor rather than a regular whatever a goldfish is?
Yeah, they're not pumpkin spice cheddar goldfish. No, they're grams. So they're like
I would assume that they got rid of the cheddar.
Yeah.
Because wait a minute, pumpkin spice cheddar, that does sound gross.
No, they are grams. So
what was the other one I had? There were two. There were two next to each other, and I split the image.
Well, that put my address up on the screen.
What?
Well, that put my address up on the screen.
That was too quick. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we'll fix that in post. But yeah. So I think I will have to order some of those after the show. And Sparky saw nothing.
What was the other one that I sent you?
Yeah, let's go back because I got a slideshow here, and we haven't even talked about.
Oh yeah.
And so also you found the Milano.
Oh yes,
spice.
That was the other one. Yeah.
No, that looks good. I'd buy that. I could probably go get those at the Stop and Shop. Yeah. No, I mean the cookie, the chocolate, the pumpkin spice. What's not to like? Now this one, however, I'm not so sure about the pumpkin spice bologna. Made with chicken and pork, and pumpkin and cinnamon. I don't know about that one.
Did you look for that to see if it's real?
It's fake. Yeah. Sadly and gladly, it's fake. And then there was this one, the Halloweeners. I did not Google this. Did you see this in person, or did you get this picture somewhere else?
I got that picture someplace else.
Black licorice flavored hot dogs. All right, we have to Google this now. Is it real?
Halloweeners.
Halloweeners.
Not necessarily pumpkin spice, right?
Fact check. Despite viral footage, Oscar Mayer is not selling black licorice hot dogs called Halloweeners. So no, that one's fake, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Yeah.
But anyways, if we go on, of course, I put together my own slideshow of totally real, totally legit pumpkin spice things. Of course, you can't go.
Now, did you see that online, or did you take a shot in the store?
I went online and went shopping. And of course, you can't go wrong with anything Twinkie. I mean, it's
absolutely right.
Pumpkin spice Twinkie.
Of course, you'll be dead in a week, but that's all right.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But and of course, the pumpkin spice Oreos, classic. Gotta have those. And there's the pumpkin spice ramen cup of noodles. Why not? I mean, it's noodles, it's pumpkin. Maybe it's a more hearty pumpkin. That could work.
Die happy. Yes, I should have added that.
Exactly.
That.
And of course, Halloween's coming up, so you got the pumpkin spice Halloween costume.
Really?
There you go. Why not?
Yes.
And of course the pumpkin light Bud Light seltzer. Why not? It's seltzer. It'll get you drunk, and it tastes like pumpkin spice. That's win-win-win right there. The pumpkin spice wagons are in. Now, Sparky,
all right. Are you going to get one?
That one?
Or do you just paint yours?
I think those are back ordered. Now, Sparky's saying when you get this, you have to let us know what you like best. Of course, there's the pumpkin spice ranch dressing. Classic right there. You can't go. It's ranch. It's pumpkin. It's doubly wrong.
Right.
And then a few of my personal favorites up next here. Tide said, "Fuck it, people are going to eat them." It's the pumpkin spice Tide Pods.
Yeah.
So
yes. Your clothes will smell like pumpkin spice.
If you're going to make your clothes smell like pumpkin spice, you're going to want to keep your washer smelling like pumpkin spice. So the pumpkin spice fresh washing machine cleaner tablets. Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Of course.
And then, of course, there's the pumpkin spice NyQuil for when you get a cold like I have right now.
Holy shit, you really dug into the basement for this.
You could almost say that someone took a picture of Dayquil and NyQuil and just photoshopped this together. Who would do that, though? This is obviously real. Right. It says right on the label, pumpkin spice.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, when you accidentally drill a hole in your stairs, you need the pumpkin spice wood filler. That way...
Did you do that?
I did do that. And I did have to order a tub of this stuff to fill the hole in my stair.
All right.
So, and yes, Sparky, I fixed my washer recently, and I also fixed holes that I drilled in my stairs by accident with wood filler. So now the wood filler comes in pumpkin spice. So there you go, and it's non-shrinking, water based.
Good, excellent.
Yeah. So that's this year's pumpkin spice goodness that I found out there in the wild.
Did I send you the bass strings?
Pumpkin spice bass strings? I don't remember that one.
Shoot.
Oh. Darn, you found pumpkin spice bass strings. Now that sounds good. I mean, why not?
Obviously, you wouldn't be eating them.
No, but you could lick your fingers after you're done playing your bass. But there you go. So.
There's also mobile pumpkin spice motor oil.
Oh, of course.
And I sent you that one.
Now, does that make the exhaust smell like pumpkin spice?
I don't know.
I didn't.
Yeah. Slinky Base Springs.
I must have not scrolled back far enough when I was grabbing the stuff for this slideshow presentation. So my apologies for missing that.
Those are guitar strings, not bass strings.
Oh, close enough.
And I think the first one I sent you was the pumpkin spice, and this is real, Land O'Lakes limited batch pumpkin spice butter spread.
That one was real?
That was back in August, and I said, "Too soon?" ?
Oh,
apparently, it was too soon because you didn't come across it. I mean, you go to my Twitter feed and just click on media, scroll down, and you'll see them.
Now, Sparky points out, only if you have bad rings in your car will you smell the oil. Yeah, been there, done that. I remember one time I remember there was a period of time when my car was like burning oil so bad that it would sometimes come out the vents in the car. And that's when it's like, well, I took the car to the guy, to the shop down the street from Tharco. And the guy kept on saying, "We don't know." And then I took it to another guy further down the street, and he fixed up everything for one low price. And I'm like, dude, guy next to Tharco is a fucking idiot. That just overcharges me for everything. So shop around if your mechanic's an idiot. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. So I had this mechanic when we were in Houston that I had him change a timing belt.
Right.
And when I got it, within a week, it started to make a lot of racket. So I brought it back to him, and he says, "Oh, okay."
Now Sparky says one.
So he adjusted it again, and then again within a week, it was making a big rattle again. But I did have the shop manual, so when I came back the second time, I handed him the shop manual, and he read it, and he says, "Oh, that's the problem. This is the proper way to adjust the timing belt." So I trained him. Fortunately, he wasn't charging me past the first time.
Yeah. Well, I should clarify the one low price in Sparky. Basically, it was a longer story. It's a story where I was having multiple problems with the car. I kept bringing it to the same shop. They kept on not finding the problems and doing things and charging me money for fixes that didn't fix it because they did the work. They put the part in, you pay for it, and then you hope it fixes it.
So was this the guy right at Bachman?
Yeah, that guy right that you could walk to from Tharco.
That everybody liked.
Not me. Guy fucked up my car.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "I don't know what's wrong with it." And then like one time I had a problem where the car was having difficulty starting. And the measurement said it was running lean. And so he said, "Well, maybe it's the sensors." And so he said, "Well, maybe we'll change the sensors and maybe that'll fix it." And so And I had him do a few things, and I paid him for a few things. And then I had him do the sensors. He did the sensors. And then while he did the sensors, they found this hose that was leaking. And he said, "Oh, this hose is leaking." So we taped it up. And I'm like, "Oh, what is that hose?" "Oh, it's like air flows through it." "And what would that do?" "Oh, it would probably make the engine run rough in 1 week and have difficulty starting." I'm like, "Oh, so you mean all the symptoms I've been describing to you for the past month?" So basically, I had to pay.
So he taped up the hose rather than replacing it.
Well, I couldn't find the part.
Well, that's horse shit.
And so
I mean, after all, you were driving a Ford,
and not to
one
mention,
of the most common cars sold on the planet.
So meanwhile,
other than the Ford F-150.
Meanwhile, I paid him hundreds of bucks to fix all things that weren't a problem, and then like a 10-cent piece of tape fixed it temporarily.
Yeah.
The point is that then I had oil leak problems, and he couldn't figure that out. Then I had another problem that came up. While they were trying to fix the oil leak problem, another problem happens while it's in their shop. Now, I can't prove that they caused that problem, and it very well could have been a coincidence. Yeah. So at some point, I found another mechanic, and I brought the car to him, and he fixed all these overarching problems in one visit and one what I thought was a fair bill for fixing a bunch of car problems. So that's why I made one low price. It was probably a reasonable price. Anyways, I haven't talked at all about the hurricane.
Well, and that's what the show was to be about.
Actually, it was about the drip, drip, drip stream of water in my basement.
I know, but you changed this the primary subject. Everybody wants to know how you made out with the hurricane that hit Maine. Florida.
Florida. Well,
so you arrived before the hurricane hit, right?
Right. They were projecting the now, mind you, so Thursday, before I go, I was scheduled to fly out Monday. So Thursday evening, I pull up the weather report, and that's when I see that there's a storm, there's a tropical depression storm forming that is projected to curve around and hit Florida. And I'm like, oh shit. And I look at the weather forecast for Orlando, and they call for thunderstorms Monday, thunderstorms Tuesday, thunderstorms Wednesday, thunderstorms Thursday, thunderstorms Friday, and this hurricane's on track to hit Orlando on Wednesday. And so I'm like, I say to Kristen, we gotta cancel this trip. We gotta postpone. And I'm like looking at what are good times to postpone to. May is a good time to go to Florida for Disney.
Well, at least May is not hurricane season.
Right. And May is before school's out and before summer. And so I was thinking I would just rebook the flight, rebook everything, and punt to May. And Kristen and I had a moment.
Actually, lately, adjusting your schedule typically doesn't cost you anything extra.
Yeah. Well, the thing with JetBlue.
Last minute. Yeah, go ahead.
With JetBlue, in order to be allowed to even bring a carry-on on with you, you have to book a step higher than the cheaper price. And that level does allow you to reschedule and without a fee. So I could have rescheduled a flight without a fee. And Disney is happy to accommodate you rescheduling. It's canceling where you get into problems, but rescheduling, people will work with you because they generally want to keep you.
So 6 months ago, we were going to go to North Carolina, and the family asked us, or kind of told us it's better not to come. Okay. So we did a last minute cancellation. No problem with the flights. The hotel wanted to charge us a fee. So what we instead did was because it was too soon, so we moved the hotel reservation by a month. And then we waited a few days, and then we canceled it.
Oh, man.
So we didn't lose it. Like whatever.
Wow, you totally bamboozled them.
Yeah, that is the way to do it. Okay. Oh, you're going to charge me a fee for cancellation. Okay, can I move the hotel reservation? Oh, yeah, that won't cost anything. John.
Okay, when are you on break? When does someone relieve you? So, anyways, so Kristen and I had a moment where we both were like, "What, are you crazy?" Because I was like, "We need to cancel this trip," and she's like, "What, are you crazy?" And I'm like, "There's a hurricane coming, and they're calling for thunderstorms every day. We're going to be there. Are you crazy?" So we were both like having a "What, are you crazy?" moment. But here's the thing. I understood why.
I'm sorry, do you like to go to Disneyland or Disney World in a thunderstorm?
Well, the thing is, though, is that I also understood where she was coming from because we've been preparing for this. We've been looking forward to this.
I understand it. It's
the
a
excitement's
disappointment.
building. The day has come, and to pull the plug on all this is so disappointing. And so that's when you start looking for, is there anything salvageable here? Could this work? And, I mean, the truth of the matter is, now, mind you, last year, around the same time of the year we went to Disney, they called for rain every day. It only rained one evening. So Florida weather reports are always calling for rain, and it doesn't always happen. And also, the other thing about Disney is when you go to Disney in that time of the year, it can rain any time, and they don't close the parks for rain. And so you go to Disney prepared to enjoy it in the rain. You bring your poncho. So you always have to be prepared that you're going to get rained out while you're there. And so I was already prepared to deal with Disney and rain. It's just 5 days of it being 80 to 100% likely of thunderstorms in the forecast that was kind of really putting the damper on me. Now, Sparky writing in, so the wife won. John is learning happy wife, happy life. Well, now Kristen did leave it up to me to decide but she was very disappointed, and I didn't want to disappoint her. And so I really wanted to take a moment to understand where she was coming from, because to me, it just seems so unintuitive to go forward with a Disney trip in a forecast of nothing but thunderstorms and a hurricane heading straight for us.
At least a potential hurricane. Yeah, because those are hardly predictable.
And as we continued to watch, it started trending more to the west. So it was looking like there was a good chance it could miss us. And in which case, we're just dealing with 5 days of thunderstorm predictions. And so then I also decided to research what happens if a hurricane hits a Disney vacation. What's the norm? Do people normally in my position normally cancel, or do they normally go ahead with it? And one thing I noticed was I was keeping an eye on restaurant reservations and seeing if things would free up that are hard to get. And you would expect that with the hurricane coming in, all of a sudden every reservation frees up. That was not the case. People were not canceling their reservations.
Well, that's because people wanted their hurricane party.
Well, but these places, if they get closed during a hurricane, the reservation's no good. So people were not canceling their trips is the point I'm making. People were not canceling. Yeah. I was not seeing evidence of the trip being canceled. Now,
well,
Sparky,
maybe you didn't see the cancellations because people then would book their hurricane party.
Like I said, they weren't freeing up, so people weren't canceling. So that kind of gave me pause for thought. How come everyone's not canceling? I should be seeing everything free up in the situation. If that's so, maybe it's not normal for everyone to just cancel. And then I kind of thought to myself, well, what are you going to Disney for? Are you going to Disney for a specific thing, or are you going to Disney to enjoy what life presents you while you're there? Would this be an experience that you remember? Would this still be an escape from work and a pleasant experience? If it gets interrupted for a day and you're in the hotel, is that the end of the world? And I also researched that,
hopefully it's not the end of the world, but go ahead.
Figurative end of the world.
No, or literal.
Well, then I researched, and Disney World built their buildings up to sustain direct hits from Category 5 hurricanes. This thing's coming from the west. It's going to make landfall on the west coast of Florida as a Category 4. It's going to be down to like a 3 or a 2 by the time it hits us, if it hits us, which is what happened. So,
yeah.
Did
the eye of the hurricane come right over you guys?
Well, I don't know. It came overnight and we slept through that, so I don't know if there was an eye and there was a dip or whatever. But I know it hit Orlando, and that was the news story. Ian goes to Disney World.
Right.
But
I mean, what if the eye hit? You're getting all this wind blowing the window around, and then suddenly, nothing.
Right. Well, I slept through that part.
Right. That's probably when you fell asleep. Is when it all calmed
wind
down.
Was whipping around when I fell asleep, but it was, but anyways, but we didn't even get to that part yet. So I did my research and I learned that safety was not a concern, that the buildings are built up. If the hurricane hits, you'll be sent to your rooms. Disney staff volunteers to stay on site. And there will be limited meal options and meal boxes, so you'll have food. So it's like if a hurricane hits, it's not like you're out of luck or you're scrambling to find a way out of there or you're in trouble. You just gotta stay in a Disney hotel room until.
After all, they would send you over to the Superdome, right? I know a guy that spent the Hurricane Katrina in the Superdome. That was a really bad scene.
See, that's not. If that were the case, I wouldn't go. But that's not the case.
Right.
They have hotels built to sustain this. We'd be in a hotel room with plumbing and food.
Right.
You know? So,
and there was no call for evacuation, right?
Right. And if there was a call for... Now, here's the thing. People in Florida, locals will go to Disney World and get a room there.
Of course.
Because it is a good place to hunker down.
Right.
For that.
And abandon your stuff.
And as Sparky pointed out, they did hand out free flashlights. So, anyways, we flew. So
they did.
Yeah, but that's
cool.
later on.
Do you still have that?
So no, we left it in the room. It was
to make a long story longer. Go ahead.
So after doing my research, I decided, okay, let's go and let's throw caution to the wind in a safe environment, and let's see how this experience goes. It could be awful, but it could be good. There'll probably be ups and downs. But it'll be our Disney vacation, and we'll always remember it. And so we went, and Monday was a pretty good day. In fact, we get to the park. It's not raining. There's no thunder. There's no lightning. And in the evening, we park hop to Epcot. And after we park hop to Epcot, it did in the evening start thundering and lightning a bit, and a little bit of rain started coming down. But it wasn't a all-out downpour that soaked us. In fact, it was one of those types of rains. Well, it started raining around the time that our reservation for dinner was ready. So I'm like, I don't feel like taking out my poncho because I have those like emergency ponchos that are folded up in a little pack that fit in your pocket. But once you take it out of the pack, you'll never get it back into your pocket. So I'm like, I don't want to open up my poncho for the few minutes before waiting for dinner and then having to deal with this thing in the restaurant. So we're just like waiting out in the rain a little bit for our table to be ready, hoping that it doesn't open up and rain all hell on us. So we have to open up our ponchos, but it wasn't too bad. It was just, we got a little wet. And then our table was ready and we came in, and by the time dinner was done, that rain had stopped. And then we had fireworks that evening. So Monday.
And so you got wet yourself to save your poncho from getting wet.
Right, but we didn't get that wet. We didn't even get that soaked. We were dry
by the time. And I do that with an umbrella all the time.
Yeah.
You just kind of go, wait. I don't want to get the umbrella wet.
And Tuesday.
And if it gets harder, then you do.
And Tuesday was mostly no rain. There may have been some rain in the evening. I forget, but they were calling for rain, but it really didn't come. But Wednesday was when it got really rainy, and on Tuesday they announced that they'd be closing the parks for Wednesday, Thursday in preparation for the weather. So that's when we're like, okay, we're down for 2 days. It is, which was kind of our worst case scenario, that we lose 2 days of park time and get stuck in our hotel room for 2 days.
How many days had you paid for?
I paid for 5 park days.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting 4 park days because our flight got bumped back a day. So I had to book an extra night in the room, and so we took an extra day in the parks. So I still have a park day unused, but because our vacation was interrupted by a hurricane, any multi-day passes that were not used are good for another year. I asked for a refund. They wouldn't give me one, but they gave me an extra year. So I have 2 years to use this extra park day. So maybe in 2 years I'll plan another vacation.
So they don't give money back?
Well, if I asked, here's the thing. I called the phone number to ask about that. And when I called the phone number, they said, oh, you have to ask at the front desk. Well, and so I go to the front desk. Well, I called the phone number about extending our hotel room visit. And that's when we got that your call will be answered in 10 minutes call. Which you can see that stream. The recording's there. And so I call the phone number for guest services to ask them about both of those things. Although I forgot to ask them about getting the credit for the park day. But when I asked about extending the hotel room, they say, oh, we don't do that. You have to do that at the front desk of where you're staying. So we go to the front desk. We ask to extend the visit an extra day. They extend an extra day. And then I ask, can we get credit for, the park day passes that we don't use? And the person told us, well, you have to talk to someone else about that. And the person was supposed to give us a number on a receipt, but then after they finished booking us, they didn't give us a receipt or a phone number. And so I'm like, oh, I'll sort it out later. I got, because I had other things, I was distracted, and I had plenty of time to figure that out. But so then the last day when I'm checking out, I asked them, could I get a credit for this? Now, in the past, I've gotten a credit at the front desk for unused things. Because usually if you press them politely, Disney staff are trained to find ways to be accommodating to the customers. So they'll bend rules. They'll find ways to do things if you're polite but push enough. Politely. You got to find that line. So the last day I'm checking out, I say, we have one unused park day pass. We only got to use 4 or 5 days. It's not in our budget to plan a vacation next year. Could we get a credit for that? And they're like, well, you got to talk to guest services. Are you going to a park today? I'm like, no, we're going to the airport. They're like, oh, let me talk to our supervisor. And that's when they came back. I thought they're going to come back with an option to give us a credit. But the supervisor came back and said, well, we'll give you an extra year. So I got 2 years.
Hey, that's awesome.
So that is something. Sparky Joseph goes, push with an open hand. That could be, no.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. No. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not.
Or
planning...
I'll be back.
Let me tell you, last year when I was done with my Disney vacation, I had such a great time. All I could think about was we got to do this again sometime. And I spent the past year watching videos and doing research because the theme was, if I could do it again, how would I do what I did last year even better? Which made it really difficult when, it's completely different. Now we got a hurricane coming, ruining everything I've been building up to this past year. But then I had to go in with an open mind. That's the thing. I really had to be knocked down a few pegs to, rather than set specific expectations, to go in with an open mind and take what's coming. And
so, bottom line,
I got
you
4
are
park
going
days,
to
and it was great.
Reset your decision, right? Go back in time and said, cancel or not cancel. What would you do?
I would say don't cancel. If you can go with. Now here's the thing: if I had kids, I'd cancel, and I'd hold to that because I would not want to entertain kids in a hotel room for 2 days.
Right.
Now the resort opened up the arcade to free play. The arcade was mobbed with kids. It was fun. We had a great time, but it was mobbed. They did have some character greets in the lobby area.
Pay? You mean these are machines that take quarters?
Well, actually, I think there's like a card system that you load, but they're paid.
Oh, you load with money, and then you just put your card in and it plays.
Right. But they sent them all to free play. I brushed up on my Donkey Kong skills.
So were there limits so a person just wouldn't play after play after play?
Yes, there were limits. The machines had an arrow that would turn green when it was ready for you to push the button to add a credit. And there was a timer before you could add another credit. So you can only play 1 game, and then the machine is locked for a period of time after that. Now, you could just stand in front of the machine and wait for the timer and hit it again. But basically, you play 1 game.
So does it know that it's you because you're using your card?
No, well, it was free play, so there's no cards. The cards are only when it's
well. Then how does it know who? What? Yeah, that seems dumb.
It was in free play.
It would sit there and wait.
So
it would say, put a card in. We're not going to charge you for it, but we know that it's you. No. And then the next guy will put in his card and it just starts playing.
We do hear you, Mars.
Right? Hi, Mars.
Hi.
Was that a coffee fart?
No, I didn't think anybody could hear me.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you typed in some messages. So welcome back, Mars. Sorry, we're rambling fast because I'm trying to get in the whole story.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, my brother-in-law came by because he was stalking my parking spot because someone keeps parking there. Not like I care, but someone keeps parking my parking spot and it makes him mad. So he came down and talked it for an hour and a half.
Oh,
so he found who was parking?
No, they didn't come by. They didn't come by.
Oh,
the parking spot was empty this morning too. What?
He called the tow truck, right?
No. He did one other time I was here, and they wouldn't do it. And I was like, dude, that's all I need. Because the thing is, he lives somewhere else. So my thing is, if they tow his car, whose house do you think he's going to come to talk to? Not him. They're going to talk to me. That's something I don't want to deal with, honestly. But whatever. Right. I mean, I have 2 parking spots, and I have no car. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sheldon.
So
there's an episode of Big Bang Theory where Sheldon and Howard get into Sheldon's parking spot, and Sheldon doesn't have a car and he doesn't drive,
But he has a parking spot.
but he has a parking spot.
I think about just taking a lawn chair out there one day, or get a grill or something, grill out there or something.
Yeah,
Parking spot. I don't know.
yeah.
Well, that's why.
And the two parking spots are next to each other, right?
No, they're across. One's covered, one's not.
Oh, I see.
We always
So
take a covered
yeah,
one.
that's not convenient.
Yeah, it's a nice parking spot. It's a great spot.
Yeah.
Oh, the covered spot's a great spot. Yeah.
Vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But anyways,
In fact, Johnny, didn't we park there once?
we did.
Yeah. When you pick me up, yeah.
When we
That's what
picked
I was
him up.
thinking.
That's where I always park when I go to pick him up, and we all went as a group one time. And you were
Right.
driving that time, so you parked there.
Right.
Right. And we had Dick with his crutches, and we all went to the
Right,
coffee
that's
house.
right. Yeah.
Went to the Black Bear Diner. I tried my chances again on the chicken fried steak. That one did not send me to the bathroom for an hour, so
Yeah.
It was
Winner.
a good day for Black Bear.
yeah. Yeah,
It was a good day for my toilet.
Because the other time I went to Black Bear, I'm desperate when I go for a public restroom, but I don't know what would the deal with that chicken fried steak.
I remember.
But,
I remember.
But I adjourned myself to the bathroom for about a half hour. A kid came in the bathroom, started crying, and left. And
I had that Toys R Us bathroom. It's okay.
Yeah.
So they gave you a free year?
Yeah, they gave me a free extra year on top of the free year that they were given. So I have 2 years to use my unused day pass.
It's only one day, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did you
can
have
go
some
Disney
kind of
World for
receipt
one
that
day.
said
What you
that?
get there for one day?
Well, probably while doing 2 years, I'll plan another trip, and I'll just buy a pass with one less day that I'm actually going to need.
Now, if they gave you an extra year, and so that's that second extra year, a free pass to the Drink Around the World with Beer tour, all the beer you can drink, there you go.
Oh, that would
Now,
be
are
awesome.
these passes transferable?
I don't think so.
So your name is on it.
And my name is on it. Yeah.
No. Well, we know what
Yes.
he's doing for the next 2 years.
I scalped this day from a friend of mine. Will you accept it?
Well, the thing is, at Disney parks, when you swipe your card, you also have to put your finger on a finger sensor that verifies your fingerprint.
Yeah.
So you can't hand your card to someone else to get it.
You mean they've somehow verified your
Yeah,
fingerprint?
it's two-factor authentication.
Well, the first time I checked in, they took my fingerprint. Then every time after it, they checked my fingerprint. So that way, because since it's a card that just gives you general admission, I could, in theory, use the card to get in the park, somehow get the card over to someone else.
Could I cut off your hand and use that and use your card? Your card.
Yeah,
that would
that's
work
it.
in theory.
Okay.
But the attendant might get suspicious if you pull a severed hand out of your pocket and slap its finger
Right,
on the
right.
side.
You know what?
You'd have to do it on the slide.
You know what? I'll give him a 5.
Now Sparky writes in, I have a question. If your internet went out at home, what is an acceptable time to wait till it is repaired? Wow, that is a wide range.
Did you reboot your server and or modem?
Well, also, does your ISP have a website that announces outages and things like that?
Yeah.
Well, what if you can't get to the internet to find out?
Well, he's at McDonald's right now.
But he's at the McDonald's parking lot on the.
He's probably on his 25th apple pie right now.
Because I remember
why don't you move off to say like Wendy's or somebody else?
I mean he's he's posing the dilemma of when do I go home and check out the sitch situation, if it's up or not. And sit rep. Well, I remember one time we had a power outage in the evening, Kristen and I, and it was one of those annoying ones because it was too early to go to bed, but it was too late to really.
Is this at your house or at the hotel in Florida?
No, this is at our house a while ago.
Oh, okay.
And so the thing is, though, is that our power company has a very good website with maps and outages and lines and information. So I was able to, on my phone, bring up the power company's website, and I saw where the outage was, and they were estimating it was going to be out for like the next hour or something like that. And I really didn't feel like going to sleep. Not to mention, I usually can't go to sleep without some kind of entertainment on in the background. Oh. And there wasn't much to do by candlelight. So I saw that the cutoff point of the outage was such that on the other side where there was still power was an IHOP that was open like 24 hours.
Well, yeah, so, go to IHOP.
So I'm like, hey, let's go to IHOP and get a second dinner. So we went to IHOP.
That's called dessert.
Yeah. Well, I ordered an omelet, and
when we were in Maui, we had a power outage that affected a big chunk of the island, and so we went to the shopping center. All of the stores closed, but the IHOP remained open.
Oh.
And when we went in, they said, okay, so our stove is down. Once the power comes, it'll take an hour to come back again. Huh. You're welcome to stay here if you like.
We got to reboot the stove.
Yeah.
Exactly. Damn. So we did decide, no, we'll just stay here and hang out, until you're ready to take orders.
Right.
So we did. I mean, what else are we going to do, right? Everything else. The power was a lot of places. The powers were still out. They happen to have.
I have about 6 batteries. I have a phone. It has internet on it. I'm fine for an hour or two. Actually, I'm probably fine for a day or two. Actually, I have to be.
Right. So we went.
Unfortunately, the cell towers have their own batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So we hung out at the IHOP, and then while we were eating, I saw the power came back according to the power company's website. We went home. We had power. It worked out good. It helped kill the time.
Yeah.
And we got a second breakfast for dinner that night. So I think that was win-win right there.
Absolutely.
So anyways, but I think that sums up the Disney vacation. They reopened the parks Friday morning. They opened up Magic Kingdom at 10, but they opened it up at 8 to people staying in resorts. So we got an early bus. And by the way, Brian, apparently Crocs are quite the comfortable walking shoe.
Oh, so you had Crocs?
No, Kristen had Crocs. I had
Kristen
sneakers.
Did. Oh.
Well, Kristen made the mistake of packing her boots because she thought if it's going to get wet and rainy, boots would be good to have. And her boots are always comfortable when she wears them for normal short periods of time. But she found after the first day at the park that the boots were not quite as comfortable as she expected when wearing them long term. And
my feet would not. I would not be able to take my boots off after that.
Yeah, because she did post something on Twitter about her feet or legs hurting or something like that.
Right. Well, I'll tell the
story. Was
that
with these boots?
Yeah. So the boots were causing some friction on her pinky toe, and she was getting blisters.
Shit.
And so and now, mind you, by the end of the day, Tuesday, her feet were pretty rough shape, and then we had 2 days off our feet in the hotel room.
Yeah.
So then Friday morning, we're getting ready to line up for the bus to go for rope drop at Magic Kingdom, and her feet are still killing her. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty bad. If after 2 days resting, your feet are still killing you, how are we going to get through another 2 days of park time with these boots? And I bought moleskin, and we tried to make some moleskin, but that wasn't helping. And she's still like limping along getting to the bus. And I remembered that I had seen Disney branded Crocs at several gift shops around the parks. And I said, and so I said, well, Kristen, have you considered maybe buying a more comfortable footwear while we're here? Maybe you want to try some Crocs? So while we're waiting for the bus, she goes to use the restroom, and she passes through the gift shop, and the gift shop at our resort had Disney branded Crocs. So she said, I'm buying a pair of them. And she bought a pair. We put them on while waiting for the bus. She's like, oh my God, this is so much better. And, I mean, her feet were blistered and painful already from 2 days of boot wear, but walking around on her beat-up feet in Crocs, that enough was a difference that the next 2 days were a breeze.
There's holes in them so you can get air through them, too, which is nice.
It would have been much better if we started that on day one. So from now on, she is Crocs all the way when she needs to go to
Hey, you're in Florida, right?
Yeah. So
Brian, they have Crocs and alligators.
So yes. Now Sparky says they're telling him that Thursday it will be fixed. And it's and it went out Friday night at 7:30 p.m.
What kind of crappy internet place you got there?
Oh,
it's time to like beat them down.
Now that is pretty. Oh, I see what the question is now. He's asking if this is acceptable. Well, I mean, it's not acceptable, but it's also not much you can do about it unless you want to start checking out what other options you have. But man, that is shit. I mean, I'd be. Ooh, man, I tell you, if my internet went out on Friday night, and I get the word it can't be fixed till Thursday, I mean,
Hotel.
I guess I'd be going into the office Monday.
I'd be going for a hotel for a week and be like, yeah, hotel.
Yeah, well, although I can't go into the office tomorrow because I've got cold symptoms. So I'd need to be working off my phone's hotspot, which I think even though I have unlimited data, that tethering doesn't count as unlimited. There is a limit.
No, it's a separate thing.
Right.
I'm actually surprised your work hasn't given you tethering for their plan. Do you get your plans for work for your phone?
No, this is a personal phone.
They should give you plans for a work phone.
You know, the problem with a work phone is that
what?
There's two options. I don't know how it works. I feel weird about having work pay for my personal phone because I really don't use this phone for much work stuff. And whatever work stuff I use on this phone, it's not costing me extra for what I would pay anyways. Okay. So, and I don't want to get a work issued phone because then I'd be carrying two phones, or I'd have to put personal stuff on a work device, which I used to do for Tharco. But I wouldn't do that again. The reason
the advantage of two phones, you keep your business stuff and your personal stuff separate.
Yeah. You know why I never did that for Tharco? Because when I got my work, that, but also when I got my work phone from Tharco, that was the first time I got a mobile phone. I had never carried one up to that point. And I prided myself on that because I felt like the world was going mad with this, people can get a hold of you at any time, at any place. I liked being
absolutely.
Some
people have to respond to a text right away, and to me, I'll look at a text and I go, "Yeah, okay, that's interesting information. I'm not going to answer that right away."
Yeah.
Who the fuck are they to tell me, what to respond to and when?
Heck, I got a family text I need to respond to. I got to let my aunt know I'm going to I'm going to be at the Thanksgiving celebration at Heart Lake. So that would be important. Yeah, that is important. Yeah. But I have time.
But you don't have to do it right away. Exactly.
I kind of want to. I have no backup plans. I do. I'm always welcome at my dad's.
What if your work issued you do you have like a Rocket Hub you can get from them? Like a actual just a hotspot thing like Verizon or something? Can they issue that?
I don't know. They could. You know what? Those things are bullshit. They never work great.
Yeah.
Sparky,
mine worked fine, although it was LTE 4G LTE, whatever you call it.
Now Sparky commenting that he doesn't understand why they limit tethering. Well, the thing is that if you
I didn't even know that they knew.
Well, right? if tethering were unlimited, then you could, in theory, cancel your ISP and just tether everything to your phone and run all your data through it. Now.
They're doing that now, Gators. You know that, right?
Yeah, people are doing that.
Verizon's doing this with their 5G plans for their home. They basically give you a router with a SIM in it, and you just connect everything to it. Yeah.
And the big question is your network capable of sustaining that? Now, I'm guessing that the phone providers that are limiting the tethering, that basically if everyone used their phone as their primary ISP and did all their streaming and all their home networking over it, that would saturate their network, and that would not be a maintainable model. Now, as time goes on and things progress, I mean, remember when there were like data limits on our Gmail? I mean, Gmail accounts still have a data limit, but it's so high you rarely reach it. But it used to be a lot
data
smaller.
Limit? I didn't even know that.
I mean, that's my speculation answer. Now OX64 goes, why do they care, though? They are making their money. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Bandwidth costs money. It's a resource, and it's a finite resource. There's so much data can be transmitted on so much pipe for so much time.
So this is what Comcast does to me. Okay, they give you 1.2 terabyte a month. You would think with one person that would be way more than it. Not anymore. I mean, with all the streaming that people do, I at about 20 days into my 30-day thing, they go, you're 75% of your limit, and Comcast gets all mad. Now, if I wanted to pay an extra $50, I can go unlimited, but I don't want to pay $50.
You know, Comcast is weird. Sometimes they're limited, then they're unlimited, then they're limited, but we're not enforcing it. But then they're unlimited. And I know at one point Comcast started enforcing things and started sending me nasty grams. Then I called them up, and they're like, "We can put you in an unlimited plan
for $50 extra a month."
Well, they put me in one for like $10 extra, but they also took something off my service I was paying $10 extra for that I didn't need anymore. They did something that it came out to the same price. Although I think there was some, I don't know, my bill keeps on going up.
I will tell you, Gators, okay, get this.
So I'm on unlimited now.
I'm on a special through Comcast right now. Special. 3 year is a 3-year special.
You are
contract
enjoying the benefits of a specialty.
Yeah, the specialty. Well, it was 600 meg down and 15 up for, what was I paying? 120. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. So I looked on the website and had someone check it for me just to make sure. I could get 1.2 gig down now and 35 up for less than I'm paying now. The special is not very special anymore, and I can get twice my bandwidth.
Well, you know, these things always change. That's why.
I'm buying a new modem soon. We'll just say this.
Anyways, we should. Are there any other questions about the Ian trip? Because basically, I got my credit.
So, hang on a second, Mars. So you're getting a new modem soon?
I'm just going to buy another Ares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The S33 is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't rent the stuff from Comcast because it's $14 a month. And why the hell would I rent something when I could just buy it? Sorry, Gators.
That's right. In 5 months, you've paid for it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No, I always buy my equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not mean to interrupt, sir.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, I do think that we should find someone to raid. So I'm looking at who's live right now.
Oh.
And right now, Taco Bell commercials are live, apparently.
They are? That's exciting.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Melissa Brett music is live. And Mary Amber music is getting ready to go live in 2 minutes. And, all right. So Melissa Brett is live. Let's see. Oh, she's got guitar. She's singing. Yeah, we'll raid her. So anyways, before we raid her, though, we should do that thing that we do. Because, once again, you have been listening to...
Insert title here.
And we do try to be educational here. And I've learned a whole lot today. Now, Sparky says it was supposed to... let's see. I had unlimited 4G for several years up to 2020. It was great, and the world didn't implode. It was supposed to implode in 2000.
Oh.
Now Sparky learned
2012.
Now Sparky learns that Johnny likes trail mix during a hurricane. Well, I bought some bagged meals. I didn't even get into the dining hall situation, which was chaotic, but we found the right line. We bought food, blah, blah, blah. And then I also bought some trail mix from the gift store for extra food options.
Yeah, check out his VODs for other stuff.
Yeah, I went walking around looking for the word quadraphonic on the 70s building. And I found it. It was mostly hidden by trees. But, Brian, what have you learned?
Oh. So that was at Epcot?
That was at the Pop Century Resort. When I was staying at the resort.
that one like took me by surprise.
That they had a building with the word well, the Pop Century Resort has decade-themed buildings. So there's a section of like 70s themed buildings and
is that part of Disney?
Well, it's a hotel resort on Disney property. You don't
okay.
Disney has different resorts.
Yeah.
And they
budget, have different themes.
Right. Yeah. And Pop Century is one of the more budget resorts, which is a decent hotel. It's a small 2 double bed hotel room, TV and a small bath. And they have several buildings. We were staying in a 50s theme building that has like these giant bowling pins covering the stairwells on the sides. The 70s themed one has like giant 8 tracks next.
Why
to
did you
stairwells
not
on
say the
sides.
70s one?
We didn't have a choice in the matter, and actually,
Oh.
the 50s ones were closer to the Sky Ride to get to the parks than the 70s ones were. So I was happy.
Oh.
So you were rocking out with Elvis.
Yeah,
Just saying,
exactly.
if you could have stayed in the quadraphonic room.
Well, so the buildings do have like
Now, did
different.
they have an Elvis character?
I don't know about that.
You know, because a couple of weeks ago, the Presley family said we don't want to see Elvis impersonators anymore.
Anyways, we don't got time for
What are they, a bunch of
extra
assholes?
topics, so
Yeah.
we're just going to stay on target here.
Yeah.
So I was walking around the area with the 70s buildings because these buildings have sayings on the top of the buildings that are specific to their decade that they're within. So there's like 10-4 good buddy and do the hustle, things like that on the top of the 70s buildings. And I knew from looking, if you look at Google Maps and go to the satellite mode and look at the shadows that are casted on top of these buildings, you can see the shadow of the word quadraphonic on top of one of the buildings. So I knew one of the 70s buildings had, with all these 70s sayings, someone stuck the word quadraphonic on one of them, which was such an odd, because that wasn't really a saying. That was just a 70s thing. So I thought that was really neat that someone at Disney thought to put the
Absolutely.
word quadraphonic.
Who would have guessed that?
So I went walking around looking for it, and it's mostly obstructed by trees. You really can't make it out, but I did find it.
Did you take pictures and put it on your Facebooks?
Well, I mean, it's on the video on demand there, but
Okay, good.
I could not get a good angle to get a good picture, so which is too bad. But anyways, it was rainy and miserable out there, but I was having a good old time. And as Sparky pointed out, I saw a big 6-track tape, because these big 8-track tapes that they made, some of them, they only put 3 programs of music on the label. I guess what the designers ran out of room, and that's like that bothered me. But whatever, it's just I guess they figured good enough. Anyways, what did you learn, Brian?
Well, I learned that you did this with you saw Elvis.
Oh, and Mars, what have you learned this week?
I learned I need to put pants on when my brother-in-law gets here.
And I learned that I need to be more careful when I do plumbing to not disrupt old stationary objects that might be wearing in certain ways that ought to not be worn further.
Oh, you blew something up, huh?
Yeah, don't.
I'll listen to VOD. I'll listen to it later.
If the pressure release valve starts dripping, don't touch it.
Yeah, it's natural. I think they all drip it, right?
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Now Sparky says put pants on. You know what? I think Randy Newman suggested the opposite of putting pants on. He said he's going to take off. Yeah, he said he's going to take off his pants. You don't remember that?
Randy Newman.
You remember that?
What song was that?
He also sang the song about short people.
Well, that's the famous one, sure.
No, there was this one. I was thinking about this recently, and I'm glad this opportunity. Thank you, Sparky Toast, for bringing up the perfect moment to remind everyone about this silly song.
Pulled it out at the end. Look at that.
Don't take off my pants. Don't take off my pants.
Don't take off your pants.
Don't take off my pants.
I was gonna take off my pants.
Don't take off my pants. Your mama can't stop me. Your papa can't stop me. And the police can't stop me. No one can stop me.
Wow.
No one can stop him. He's gonna take off his pants.
Well, enjoy that. Enjoy that.
So if you need a good song request for all those Twitch streamers out there playing tunes, take requests. Here is the one. There you go.
Okay. Take off your pants.
Right now,
Gonna do it right now. Gonna take off his pants.
I'm gonna take off my pants.
Oh.
Gonna take off my pants.
That's a great song, isn't
Why
that?
doesn't Doom play this during the 5-hit?
Oh my! You know what? I tell you what. The next 5-hit that I'm on, you're gonna hear this song.
That's
But
good.
all right, let's go ahead and let's raid Melissa Brett music is what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and put that in. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
We are gonna be back here next week, hopefully with less of a cough and with more pumpkin spice. And
You didn't cook that much.
and with less water in my basement.
Yeah.
And hopefully Sparky Toaster will have more internets.
Yeah, Sparky. Good luck
Yeah.
with your internet.
All right?
Yeah.
Gonna take off my pants.
Oh my god.
All right. As soon as you shut off the stream, right?
Gonna do it right now.
Oh god. No, thank God I can't see.
Kidding. I'm gonna leave them on.
Yeah.
All right, we are rated. We are officially
rating.
Okay.
All right. Well, catch you all later.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Sorry about not being around, but
That's
didn't have a
cool.
choice.
Hey, no problem, man.
It was a surprise
You,
visit.
you had a thing.
Family and parking comes first.
Apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.